but that thing was on there. What I use it for is still gonna run.
It's a
Granted,
workhorse.
right now I mainly use it for TV,
Right.
but it's going to run, and that is the thing.
Right.
That is the thing. And there's no reason for my Mac not to be able to update to the latest iOS. It's because Apple doesn't want that iMac to update to the latest iOS.
Well, one of my thing is see, I'm in IT. Y'all know I'm in IT. That's my profession, and when I'm using a Mac in the workplace, anytime anybody uses a Mac outside of making music or art and they use it in the workplace, I just want to shake them and strangle them a little bit. I understand it for making music. I understand it for doing creative things. I understand it for editing film. I understand it. It's awesome. But then when you try to put a word processor on it, when you try to do accounting on it, when you try to connect it to a network, when you try to do all these other things on it, and then I have to administer it, I just want to kick them in the back down
You
some
know what?
stairs.
I agree, and that's why I have two. That's why I
Right.
have. That's why I like to have both.
Right. Because
One, my Mac is for my video, for my audio,
right.
for everything else. Now, not that the Mac can't do it. The issue with that goes way back to Steve Jobs never wanting to license the software
Right.
or to get out
Right.
and do anything. Interesting story with Windows. I mean, Mac had it first,
Yeah.
and then my boy at Microsoft decides to copy it,
Bill Gates.
and yeah, and then but there's no way Jobs could sue Gates for using it because they stole it from Xerox.
Exactly.
So
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. But I know I got out of the sci-fi realm, and I apologize, but it's computers are part of the geek realm, and Alvin he's an Apple user. That's why he's real quiet up there. He's
I'm quiet. I don't have any issues with Apple.
he's
I,
quiet.
I've used PCs for years, and when I got to where I started, I'm a photographer, a hobbyist photographer,
No,
and
you're a professional, my dude.
yeah,
Sorry,
and
he's saying he's hobbyist, but
you're
you
professional,
see
my
his
dude.
pictures. He's
the
not a
You're being
hobbyist.
way too humble right
Yeah,
now.
well,
way too humble
I
and too
when
cheap.
Yeah.
when I started the editing process of editing my pictures and even some video, I got frustrated. My PC laptop would do the edits,
Hmm.
but then I got a virus that destroyed every picture, you know. And at that point, I was like, never again. And I went to Mac and have not turned around. I have no issues, no.
That was your fault.
Well, I
That
don't
was
care.
your fault.
I wasn't
You can't blame
buying.
PC on that.
I wasn't buying protection every year and having to update this and that. The edits is so simple. Click of the button. It made my workflow amazing. So yeah, people got issues with may have issues with Macs. I don't have an issue, and I when I hear people complaining about Macs, I just stay quiet because I get where you're coming from, but it that's not me.
I
I
love
love
Mac.
them. I love
I
them.
love Mac. I mean, if Mac, the problem, the only reason Macs aren't used in business is because the industry does not cater the software to Macs. I think Macs are
That's
more
not
of
the
a
reason. That's not the
well, what's
reason.
the reason? What's the reason, Lois?
The reason is because, like you said earlier, Mac was wanted to be unto themselves.
Well, they did want to
So
be under
so
this,
they
but
did
still,
so
you
they did
got
so as when IBM and taking over the PC world and it blew up, they refused to conform.
yeah, but the software is not done to cater to them because, for example, I like Word. You have this wonderful Office suite for PC that gets upgraded regularly, or now they're making you do 365.
Yeah.
But you don't have that kind of constant revamping for the Mac version of software. Even with Quicken, which is what I use for finance,
Mm-hmm.
got this wonderful software for the PC that's upgraded regularly and watched, but the Quicken for the Mac looks totally different. And if I put software, if I try to keep my finances on the Mac, it's gonna take me forever to try and transfer whatever files I have over to my PC. It's just a PC world. It's just I'm left-handed, but I
Right.
live in a right-handed world. That's the way Macs
Right.
are. Macs are Macs, but they try to live in a PC world, and that's just not going to happen because you're not the only IT guy that feels the way about Macs like you do. I hear that from a lot of IT guys, and I
Yeah.
get it because they're just not the acceptable norm for business. I get
No,
it, and plus, PC stuff is cheaper on top of that.
yeah,
PC stuff is cheap.
it is. It's cheaper, but the thing about it's, I mean, it's more plentiful. But it's like when I worked at Discovery. I worked at Discovery Channel. I worked in the IT, and I worked at the help desk. Man, anytime like all the editing people and all of the art people and everything, they all use Macs, and I dread it when they called. I dread it. Anytime they called that desk, I dreaded it. But the thing I have to say is when I remoting into their computers, or it's easy. Uh, I just like I don't like the navigation. I just don't like the fact that I don't know. It just seems like the best way I explain it is when you're using a Mac and a lot. It's like when you go bowling and you have those guardrails up, and it's like bowling with the guardrails up. And then a lot of people
Yeah,
say,
man. Yeah, the Mac OS doesn't like you getting into a
yeah, and that's what. But
whole
then,
lot of stuff.
so when people say that, then I say that they say, yeah, but you'll never get a gutter ball. I say, yeah, but you also never
Yeah,
really learn to bowl.
yeah. Well,
I mean, if
but for some,
you learn how to bowl with the guardrails down because you learn how to
but
angle the
think
ball
about
and
it.
stay out of the gutter.
But for what Mac is excellent at when it comes to music, photos, and art, I don't care about the guardrail on the iOS.
Well, it should be
The only thing I
straightforward,
need is in the program
right?
that they've already developed.
And stuff like that. It should be straightforward. And that's why it's great for that. It should
Yeah,
be
now if it,
straightforward because when you open up like because I use Adobe Premiere, I use it on my PC. When you open up Adobe Premiere, there's so many things you can do in it, and you need kind of guardrails up in order to focus you into doing your project. I understand it with that. I understand it with music. Like I said, I understand it all that, but that's not the only thing I use my computer for. I mean, I use it for gaming. I use it. I use it for technical stuff. I use it. I use it for so many things, and when I navigate on the Mac, it's it makes me want to scream.
yeah, well, yeah, Mac is not going to let you do all that unless
So
you are a seasoned Mac developer. Yeah,
so
Mac is not going to let you do all that.
I'm gonna escape this conversation before I blow a gasket. I'm gonna leave it alone because it's giving me I got post traumatic stress from all the Mac calls I used to get. I have two people at my job that use Mac, and every time I call, I swear to God, I just want to put in my notice every time they call. So, but it's all good. It's like I said, it's straightforward and everything. But hey, I love all the Mac users. For those, if you're a Mac user and you're watching this, I love y'all. Please don't hate me.
We love you too, Carlos.
No, I don't. I don't. Y'all don't love me. Y'all don't love me, especially when you call me with a problem. You don't love me. This is a one-way love. This is very toxic. All right. So I think that's about it. I think the last thing we need to touch on is the comic books. What's hot in the comic book world right
Who? Miles Morales in Marvel. They just rebooted his comic, him and Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur.
now?
So issue number 1 came out last month. There's a new Miles Morales villain coming out or made a debut in issue number 1. with the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur, I think they're gearing up toward the cartoon, the Disney Plus cartoon for it. So, you know, if you're gonna have a show out, you need to have a book out to correspond with whatever new fans that you might gain. So those are exciting books. And to tell you the truth, in the comic realm, the independents are really making a big step forward. You know, they're getting a lot of new artists and a lot of storytellers that are bringing their own creations, you know, to light, and not having to, maintaining their ownership of these characters.
So what? Just so people have a reference, what independent titles?
You have titles like Philadelphia, Bitterroot, which Bitterroot ended, but they are coming out with a new volume. Okay. So that's going to be coming out soon.
And for everybody, you know, the Philadelphia and the Bitterroot, they're written by the same guy. What's his name?
No, Philadelphia is written. Philadelphia is written by oh my God, you put me on the spot.
He's gonna kick you out of his fan club.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, it'll come to me.
You got the book right there in front of you.
No, I don't. Bitterroot was written by Chuck Brown. And drawn by Sanford Green. He was drawn by Sanford Green. Green.
Is it by Rodney Burns?
Rodney
Barnes.
Rodney Barnes writes Philadelphia. And Anita Haas Nightmare Blog, which is an excellent. I mean, if you're into a good vampire, supernatural story, Philadelphia is the best. And Anita Haas.
That's black title, right?
Yeah.
It's black title.
And Anita Haas is actually in that universe. It's put out by Image Comics, and Rodney Barnes is they're thinking about doing some I think it got optioned. Both Bitterroot and Philadelphia has been optioned. Now, I'm excited about the option, but I'm hoping that it moves past a certain point, because there's a lot of books that are optioned for either television or movies that never make it there. What we're finding out here now is a lot of TV shows and movies have a soundboard, I guess, of sorts through comic books. So they're trying to put stories out to see if people are interested in these stories. And a lot of the TV and movie people are looking at these stories to see if they're viable for TV, or, you know.
Right.
So it's a lot of stuff coming out in Marvel. Strange Academy finals are out. I think they're on issue number 3, and it hadn't slowed down. The Strange Academy, the first volume was amazing, and these 3 issues of the second volume is still on track. It's amazing. Let's see.